This is Sid here at the Griffith Observatory. As you see, I have this amazing view behind me. And today I wanted to talk about how to integrate hobbies into your life as an entrepreneur. This is a topic that I was never able to really get a clear answer on because people tend to fall into two extreme traps. You have the entrepreneurs that are more on the extreme mastery end of the continuum, and then you have entrepreneurs that are more in the freedom mindset. Meaning you have some people that say, you know what? We're gonna just pick one craft, one business model, and we're gonna work on that daily till the day I die. That's the mastery mindset. Then you have other individuals that are like, you know what? Get to a certain level of income so that you can have the lifestyle that you want, the freedom that you want, the freedom to pursue the hobbies that you want. And I was never able to quite get a clear answer on people who kind of fall in the middle of those two continuums. And look, there are some people that genuinely fall into the mastery mindset on the extreme end, that they just want to get cash till the day they die. They just want to master their business model till the day they die. And then you have other people that genuinely just want to have passive income and freedom. So most people fall in between those two continuums. So today, we're going to analyze that and how to live that path to mastery, but also integrate hobbies in your life so that you still have that feeling of freedom. Step one is this. You're going to have to make a list. All right, we're gonna do a little exercise. Make a list of all the different hobbies that you'd possibly wanna do from various different angles, whether it's relaxing hobbies or intense hobbies or improv comedy or base jumping or race car driving, hitting the sauna, hiking, whatever it is. Consider a wide range of options, because in order to first integrate the right hobbies into your lifestyle, you have to first consider a wide array of options. That way you can narrow down on the vital few hobbies that matter the most to you. What I would do is make a plan on how you're going to experiment with all these things. Do a little immersion period with all of these different hobbies. So if you're going to try improv, try it for a month. If you're going to try scuba diving, try it for a month, try it for a couple weeks. Give yourself a lot of buffer time to experiment with all of these things. And then once you have that down, then you can narrow it down to the vital few. All right, so step two is this. Once you have all those activities that you experimented with, we now want to narrow them down to the vital few potent hobbies. There's a couple things to consider. A couple buckets you should categorize things in. Let's pick the best flow state activity first. The best hobby that's going to boost up your winner effect. Winner effect means that when your brain's dopamine receptors will build on itself as you win and as you engage in intense flow state activities. So you can read more about this from a book called The Winner Effect. So what you want to think about is activities like skiing, snowboarding, skydiving, basketball, improv, stand-up comedy, anything that's going to put a little bit of pressure on you and force your mind to awaken. Why are these hobbies so important? Why is it important to have a flow state hobby? It's important because what's going to happen is your brain chemistry is going to elevate. Even though you lose a little bit of time doing that hobby, you take time away from your business. When you come back to your business, you can engage in it that much harder because your mind is more awake. I have found that if I do anything to do with communication, whether it's improv or socializing or this or that, and I'm engaging in a flow state hobby like that, when I come back to my work, I can get more done with less time. So those are hobbies that boost up your winner effect and your flow state. The next category, the next bucket you want to think about are hobbies that truly, truly relax and recharge you. What's a hobby you can do to where you feel like you're just like mush, you know? It's like you're just sitting in the sauna, you're deeply relaxed. You're getting a deep tissue massage, you're deeply relaxed. You're in an isolation tank for 90 minutes and you see nothing but black and you're meditating and you get into a deep state of relaxation. So what are those hobbies that deeply relax and recharge you and replenish your brain neurochemistry, and also hobbies that get rid of inflammation? Those are the kind of hobbies you want to consider when it comes to active recovery, restoration, and relaxation. So out of that list that you created, you should have some hobbies like that as well. So we talked about the flow state hobbies, stuff that's going to put more pressure on you, it's going to awaken your brain, and then the hobbies that you're going to have that are going to de-stress you. And both are extremely, extremely important. I like to save my relaxation hobbies for every Sunday. So every Sunday I like to go to the sauna, dip myself in cold water into the cold plunge and get deep tissue massage. And I like to take a walk out in nature. Whatever relaxes you is going to be whatever relaxes you. Those are the things that work for me. But for other people, a lot of people like to just, walk out in nature, as I said, meditate, do light yoga, light swimming, watch a nature documentary. Anything that's not super stimulus heavy is going to be really, really good for restoration. What are those restoration hobbies from your list, and what can you double down on from that list? And the third category are hobbies that also have a business ROI, a business return on investment. For example, if you like to throw parties, is there a way you can make the party also a networking event? Is there a way you can find deals at that party? You can frame yourself as the man in that kind of environment, and then the people you want to do deals with or the people you want to network with will see you being the leader of the party, and that can help you as well. You get social proof. The second business ROI, maybe you have a business mentor. If you're doing a hobby together, you can learn things from that business mentor without being clingy and needy and asking them a bunch of questions. You can just go up to them in a casual environment and learn things passively. So that can be another avenue there. For example, I've learned a lot from business mentors just sitting in the sauna and hearing their conversations. And I learned a ton through that. The next thing you could think about is, for example, golf. Golf itself, people always do deals on the golf course, so that can double as a hobby and give you a business ROI there as well. All right, so those are three considerations. Also, for marketing purposes, if you're marketing yourself and you're your own personal brand, you can obviously record these hobbies and use it in videos for marketing or for personal branding or this or that, just to kind of round out your portfolio there. Think about what business or ROI you can get from those hobbies. Now, what I want you to do is, once you've experimented with all those hobbies and you've narrowed them down to these three buckets that I've given you, then what you want to do is you want to consider the hobbies that are truly a 10 out of 10 for you. Don't pick a hobby that's an 8 out of 10 in your life in terms of how much you enjoy it, or a 9 out of 10. Just pick the vital few hobbies that are a 10 out of 10 for you, all right? And double down on those. So now that we have our vital few hobbies that are a 10 out of 10 in our life, here's what you want to do. And here's the part where most people trip up and mess up. The thing is this: now that you have those activities, you need to just simply put them in the schedule. You need to simply just take time blocks on your schedule and devote them to those hobbies with no exception. Now here's the thing. Most people are like, I could use that same time on my business, but we've already fleshed out that you're getting an ROI from these hobbies. Your winner effect is gonna be boosted up, which is gonna help you to work more intensely. You're gonna get a business ROI on that hobby, or it's gonna be relaxation so that when you come back to your business, you can attack it extra hard. Now that you've considered those things, schedule it, put it in the schedule. It's not real till you put it into the schedule. There's a lot of people who have different opinions on this. So many people are like, why don't I just, well, if I put it in the schedule, I'm losing out on those hours that I could have spent working. Well, now you've kind of fleshed out the ROI that you're getting from those hobbies via relaxation, via your winner effect, your flow state's going up, and then you can work with more intensity and the clear business ROI that you'd be getting on that hobby. So put it in the schedule. It's not real till you put it into your schedule. There's people who get a lot of cognitive dissonance about this, because especially those people who are coming from the mastery camp, they've been so indoctrinated with just working more hours and more hours and more hours, they always fail to consider the quality of those hours. Now that we've fleshed out the business ROI, the winner effect, the relaxation hobbies, we know we're getting an ROI off these hobbies. Put it into the schedule. Make it real to yourself that you're gonna actually do this thing. All right, I remember when I first started skydiving, to remove hours away from work felt like death. It did. I'd be in the parachute, literally like swooping down, about to land in a cornfield, and I was feeling guilty about not working. Now that I'm a little bit more experienced and I've kind of fleshed out these things, I know that my winner effect is gonna be higher, my flow state is gonna be higher when I skydive. That way when I go back to work, I can work with more intensity. So don't feel guilty about this. You know, as I said, there's people who will work 16 to 18 hours a day. Let's say someone's working 18 hours a day. A lot of entrepreneurs work 18 hours a day, and they sleep 6 hours a night, 6 hours a night. A lot of those guys don't get that much done. They don't. I know a guy who sleeps about 8 hours a day. He travels the world full time. He wingsuit base jumps around the world, and he has an awesome social life. He also makes $55 million a year, and he's in his early 30s. This guy, by all accounts, is living a more balanced life, but he's very deliberate about the way that he schedules things. He knows the ROI he's getting from those activities. He continues to win completely at business, making $55 million a year, and he gets his cake and he gets to eat it too. He gets those hobbies. How many entrepreneurs do you know that work 18 hours a day? They're literally grinding in a room, and they're like, no, I can't go to golf. I can't go do this activity. I can't have freedom. I can't do anything. But they don't they don't actually produce results. Maybe they make, even if they make $1 million or $2 million, is it really worth making $1 million or $2 million if you are working, if you're slaving away in a room for 18 hours a day? Unless you like it, but most people don't. The key is to be deliberate. This guy I know who makes $55 million a year, what he does is he's super deliberate. He says, you know what? I take 10 days where I work 12 hours a day on my business. And then I alternate that with 10 days where I work 4 hours a day on the business. And then the rest of the time I wingsuit, I travel, I have fun. Most people are not that deliberate when it comes to how they schedule things. It's very important, as I said before, to put it in the schedule. Now, here's the thing. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to keep course correcting your schedule. You're gonna have to experiment. You're gonna find a point of diminishing returns where you are actually spending too much time on your hobbies and not enough on your business. Once you've committed to it, once it's in the schedule, you will find a way to balance your schedule and your hobbies and your business, right? It's no different than people who are, there's people who have big muscles and are jacked and are extremely healthy and they run an awesome business. And there's people who are too fat and they constantly rationalize, I can't go to the gym, I don't have enough time. But the people who are jacked and healthy and also run a successful business simply made the time to do it. The final step is really just a mental shift where you must just simply own the fact that your hobbies are now a part of your craft. Simply own it. You no longer need to feel stressed about it or get cognitive dissonance about it. People get cognitive dissonance and stressed about having hobbies as an entrepreneur because you've been so conditioned by the mindset that you have to just work more hours and more hours and more hours. You've just been conditioned by this mindset. But if you've defined your values and you're clear, like you're like, no, dude, I like golfing, I like skiing, and I'm a business guy, but I like skiing. I just like it. Well, then that's you. Make it a part of your craft. You're getting a business ROI on that time, as you fleshed out before. So just make it a part of your craft. Make it a part of yourself. Don't feel stressed about the fact that your business and the hobby are two different things. Mentally, you can make them one thing, because mentally, it fuels your business. And because I've defined my values, nobody can sway me away from that. No, the entrepreneur who just sits in his room and works all day and is preaching on YouTube or is a coach on YouTube and saying, you gotta cut off your hobby if you wanna be more successful, I say no, because my hobby is a part of my craft. It is a part of my success. I know what ROI I'm getting on that time. He doesn't know, I know. The entrepreneur who can, on the flip side, on the freedom end, who just says, you know what, you already have enough money, you should just work all day. Well, I'll say, you know what, I wanna do my work and master it and also have freedom to pursue the hobbies that I want. I hope you guys got some value out of that and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.